has to do with a bandana. I used to lead wilderness trips with kids, right? And when you lead wilderness trips in your backpack, you want to make sure you're carrying as little weight as possible. So you want everything that you carry to have multiple purposes. So the bandana is a perfect example. You're camping. What can you use a bandana for?
Everything.
The name's name. Raise your hand unless you're one. Sweat. Okay, you can use it for sweat. What else?
Sun.
Yeah, to block yourself from the sun. Okay, what else?
Coffee filter.
Coffee filter. Oh, I got one way in the back. Yeah, to filter water. There's a neat one that we used to use when it was really hot. Is you get this full of water, you spin it around, it evaporates, it gets really cold, then you put it around your neck where your blood vessels are going up to your head, and it cools you down like air conditioning. It works really, really well. Point being, one item has many inputs. Got the point?
Yeah.
All right, now let's move forward. Plop an urban ecology center in a challenged urban park. And notable academic achievement goes up in the schools that you serve. Right? And we know this based on the surveys that we give to our teachers, not because we're tracking individual kids because the state law doesn't allow us to do that. But I can assure you that the test scores in science especially, although we do more than science, of the kids, goes up when they encounter the urban ecology center. This is not just a single field trip. This is multiple field trips, after school, summer, weekends. Health improves. Healthy food, outdoor activity to get healthy kids. Healthy food has to do with our community gardens and our food Fridays and all the things we do with that. Ecological literacy advances. That's why I'm in this game, is ecological literacy. But it's not just learning and being able to spit out information like the folks on the right. These are the group of young kids at the University of Minnesota presenting at a conference, a scientific conference, their individually designed research. It was amazing. Then they got a grant. They won a special award because of the quality of their research. They sent them to Cornell. It was amazing. And so one of our kids now, guess what college he's going to? Cornell. Pretty neat. But it's actually the awe that we're looking for. That amazing, undefined experience when you're outside and you see something magical happen. And it can happen every single day when you're outside. And that produces a sense of awe. I don't know a better word for it. We're looking for both of those things, right? And this is the one that's bringing us bucks. Crime goes down. What do I mean by that? You know what I mean. This is the one that city leaders are interested in. It's like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. So the crime goes down. Why does the crime go down? Well, the crime goes down is because, well, think about it. You're sitting around a fire, right? And you're smoking some weed, and or you're doing whatever you're doing, drinking something, and suddenly a whole gaggle of second graders come your way. What are you going to do? You're going to get out of there. You're not going to stick around. So if you bring those second graders in every single day, the place starts changing. And what do the second graders bring with them? Parents. So suddenly parents are saying, wow, this is neat. And then you get them involved in planting trees and all the other kind of stuff. Suddenly the neighborhood starts to change. We've been doing this for 20 years, and I can attest to the fact that it's happening. It's happening, and it's remarkable. And it's so simple. It's simply just take a kid outside, right? That's the main idea, and the neighborhood wins. So we started here in the trailer, 6 years in there, which led to this. And that happened because I went to this philanthropist. Her name was Jane Pettit. The Pettit National Ice Center was named after her. It's where all the Olympians do their training, right, for ice racing. I'm sure you've got the equivalent of Jane Pettit here. I just don't know the name. So I went to Jane Pettit and said, hey, if you could give me another trailer, we could double in size. I've got a waiting list of schools that want to get into our program. And all I need is $15,000 because there's this used trailer for sale. She laughed at me and said, Ken, you don't even know what you've got. We have nonprofits coming to us and making claims of all these things. You don't even know what to claim. and yet you're doing this stuff. What you need is a capital campaign. And I said, what's that? And they said, well, that's when you raise money for like a building. Like, how do you do that? And they said, well, we'll start and help you, right? we'll give you $250,000. We walked in asking for $15,000 for a trailer, walked out with $250,000 to hire an architect and a master planner and designer and all that. And that led to this beautiful project, which was a $5 million project at the time. 87% recycled material, we capture all the rainwater, fully solar powered, all that kind of stuff. And you say, what LEED rating is it? But you say, what LEED rating is it? Well, we didn't need LEED rating because we're a neighborhood organization. Nobody even knew what LEED was. We weren't going to get any money for it. And it cost, when I started looking into it, it's like, this is going to cost us money. Why would we do that? I'm not against LEED. I think it's a brilliant, beautiful thing. But it's not designed for someone who already has the epic. All we needed was one question. We had 6 lenses that helped us build a building. 6 questions that you had to ask with every decision. And one of those is, what would the black-crowned night heron that's now nesting along the cleaned-up Milwaukee River say about this decision? And suddenly we were LEED gold from that one question. Do you understand? That's all it took, right? If wildlife had a voice, would they approve of this decision? We actually added another one. If our great-great-grandkids 7 generations out had a voice, would they approve of this decision? So we had those 2 lenses and made the greenest building in Wisconsin at the time that we built this thing. Again, we didn't actually even know this. We were just doing what we thought was right. And then what happened is it just started taking off, because now we can be seen. And so now we're seen, and we got these, the local energy company gave us these beautiful buses that we could travel around and everything. Anybody from Georgia Power here? Just a thought. And they actually helped us with the marketing and the coloring of them and all of the above. And put their name really small, but everybody knows. It was beautiful, right? We now have a whole fleet of 15 buses or something like that. But meanwhile, with all of that beautiful stuff, it's really about getting folks outside. Sometimes I think we built the buildings that we have now too well, because people are focused on buildings, and our job is getting people out of them, right? So this work just continued, but it grew. It grew from 7 schools to 14 schools to 30 schools to 50 schools to where we are now. I think it's 66 schools is where we're at now that we have deep partnerships with. So if it works once, replicate. Remember what I said? What's the radius that I said? 2 miles. Ooh, good. 2 miles. That other park over there is 4 miles away. That means there's a whole bunch of schools, over 50 of them, within that 2-mile radius that aren't being served. So that park, Washington Park, asked if we would come to their park. And we looked at it and said, that's really interesting. We'd love to come to this park. We think it might work. But we're looking around the room, and you are not asking the whole community. Because this was the Washington Heights white community that was asking the question. So we said, no, we're not interested. If you could get the whole community involved, then we're interested. But we're not interested. We want to be invited into the whole community, not just your community, right? And so then we left. A month later, we get a call. And the call was, hey, I think we've got what you're looking for, right? And so then we went to this next meeting, and you have the Hmong. Do you have any Hmong folks here? In Laos, between Laos and Vietnam, there's an area called, well, I don't know, it doesn't have a name, right? But the Hmong people live there. Anyway, there's a big population of that in Milwaukee. So you have the Hmong folk, you have the Latino folk, mostly Mexico, and then you have the African American community and the white community, all at the same meeting. And at that time, we said, okay, now we're going somewhere. So then we started another center and created this one. This one's on the... And we did the same work, You don't need the fancy facility, you just need to start. You need a trailer, a park, and some kind of transportation. You need the transportation. It doesn't have to be solved the way we did it, but you got to solve it. Otherwise, you're putting that on teachers, and teachers already got so much going on. I mean, Christ, they might have to have them holding guns soon. I mean, teachers are doing way too much. So you've got to make it user-friendly. User-friendly. I apologize, I just said a word I don't like using in public, so I apologize. In a way that I don't. I like using that word in a more positive way, so I apologize. doing the good work. This is some of our community gardens, our Food Friday, cooking up for the kids, so they can bring that food home to their family. So if it works, replicate again. So now we're on the Menominee River. It was a very polluted river, just like the Milwaukee River on the south side, which in our world is largely Latino. Everybody who works at this center, this was an old tavern that we acquired, and we converted it into this. And so, and this is everybody who works here is bilingual. You pretty much need to be bilingual in this community if you really want to have impact, if you really want to get the mentorship and everything else going on. So with these three, we could sort of circling the city, and we were serving pretty much every family can pretty much get to us within the city of Milwaukee. Actually, that's not totally true. Our 15, 20-year plan is to have 5, and then we'll be fully serving the city, which in my world means resiliency, right? So here's what we do. We connect people to the land. Lots and lots of people. So we're serving about 225,000 people a year that are coming through our parks and our centers, right? Half of those are kids, half of those are adults. And I didn't talk a whole lot about the adult programming that we do, but if you don't know how to can food because your grandmother has passed away and doesn't have that knowledge and you didn't gain it, we teach food canning as this one example of about 90 things you can get every 2 months from the programs that we do. You don't know how to use a canoe or go camping, we'll teach you how. You know, those kinds of things. If you're really a bird nerd and you want to learn those birds I was telling you about, we'll do a program on migrating warblers or whatever it is. And we'll have guest lectures, all that kind of stuff. There's always something going on. We have interest groups where you have the camera club meets there, the slow food movement meets there, the Ojibwe language class, because we have a Native American community there, meets at the center. So it's active all the time. And if you, and then we connect people to water. And this was a Huck Finn camp that we did. The kids, their whole camp was just building that raft. And then at the end of the camp, they got to float down the river. It was great. Thanks. So lots and lots of water. We have Lake Michigan. That's an advantage that we have. Although you have this cool quarry I saw that's going to be filled up with a ton of water. So that'll be neat when that happens. We improve vital urban habitat. I already talked about the beavers. With invasive species removal, we don't have kudzu, but we have a lot of garlic mustard. And a lot of other things too, I'm sure you all do. And then with volunteers, we're continually collecting seeds from the native prairies, the remnants of prairies that exist, and the remnants of high-quality forests that exist. And it's we have all these partnerships and relationships. The whole thing is about partnerships and relationships to increase the plant diversity. And then we're using those seeds and planting them not just in our parks, but all over Milwaukee, just like you guys do here. I'm super impressed with Atlanta, by the way. I mean, I've been toured around and I've seen the hard part of Atlanta and the amazing part of Atlanta. And just like I know the hard part of Milwaukee and the amazing part of Milwaukee. You guys got a lot going on. It's cool. So the one project I told you about, we moved from an industrial brickyard and got the Rotary Club involved and created the Milwaukee Rotary Centennial Arboretum. Remember the 12 acres I told you about? 12 acres is fine when you're serving a few hundred kids. Now that we're serving hundreds, tens of thousands of folks, that 12 acres has become 40 acres along the Milwaukee River thanks to a whole bunch of complicated easements and purchases and all this stuff. Things I knew nothing about, but know a lot about it now. Then we did another one. We did another one in the Menominee Valley, and along that branch. We actually didn't even have a park where we were there. So we had to build one from scratch. So we built a 40-acre park on an old railway bed, like an old railway pole, like, I don't know, probably 16 railway trestles as part of a historic, whatever you call it, help me out. Where do we put trains? Something like that. Anyway, so we created a park there, like at a depot. There we go. We got this guy involved. You all know him? You guys own him, but we have the home run. So I worked with Hank Aaron. This was actually the highlight of my career because I'm a big sports nut. And so when Hank Aaron came in and we were building the Hank Aaron State Bicycle Trail, we worked with him, and the Urban Ecology Center and Hank Aaron built a 12-mile stretch of the Hank Aaron Trail, which the Menominee River is on. It was a $26 million project that we worked with him. So it's I actually tried to get him to come here, but it didn't happen. So this was the park that we built from scratch. This is actually a whole brownfield. This was the deposit of a bunch of environmentally degraded property from they were doing a big highway project that then we covered with 4 feet of clean dirt and then 2 feet of topsoil to turn into the park that's now called Three Bridges Park. This was our mayor, Mayor Barrett. This is our mayor talking to the mayor of Columbus, Mayor Coleman. And Columbus, Ohio was the first city to take this model and transport it to their city. And then we've had other people come into our world. I don't know if Ken Salazar, anybody know who he was? He was the head of the Department of Interior under the Obama administration. He's from Denver, but he came in and learned about the center and got all excited about it. You may know Peter Senge. He wrote the foreword to my book. If you don't know him, you should look him up. He wrote a book called The Fifth Discipline in the 90s that went ballistic, and he transformed the way businesses operate with a systems